Welcome to the stage. I got three great experts up here with me today. I got Tim Bailey.
Wait, that's this one.
What do you think? Tim Bailey joins the stage. He's here.
I am here from Avid.
Tim is from Avid. It used to be called Avid Ratings, but
It's
you're
still
just Avid. You're just Avid. You're just Avid now.
Yeah, we get short form.
Because you do more than that.
That's right.
And you're here actually to talk about some of the other cool stuff that you're now engaged in. And then we have a household name that you guys probably already spent way too much of your money, or your significant other has. We got Ali Rickert from Wayfair, and she's going to come and talk about how they are beginning to focus and look at the new home market and how to help builders speed up operations, have happier customers, make money in the long term. And then on top of that, we've got Bennett Hauser. And you're from Mine, and what a cool name. And I bet most of the people out here don't even know who Mine is, but I guarantee you by the time you're done with your talk, they're all going to know who you are, and they're all going to have meetings set up with you after this meeting.
I sure hope so.
Because Bennett is going to tell you how tomorrow you can make a decision to start making money on your homes after you've sold them. Not 10 years from now, not 5 years from now, not 15 years from now, not when you sell your business to somebody else, but you can start doing it tomorrow, and he's going to help you with that process. But we are going to start with a couple slides from you, I think, Tim.
Oh, are we kicking off with me?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
And the reason for that is, Avid for a long time has been known for their customer service, services, consulting, all of your ratings and review work that you've done for the industry, and you still do that, of course.
Yep.
But recently, you were motivated to kind of go beyond that. And I'd like you to first, before you get to sides, tell everybody, why did you decide to get into this? And what they've done is they've created kind of an app that would kind of live with the house post-close, which begins now to open up a tool. Think about it at this point. I think of it as just a toolbox.
Totally.
At this moment,
Yep.
that we still have to put a bunch of tools in.
For sure.
But it's a toolbox that you could start to give residents that then would enable us to start to potentially put insurance things in there and put local services and different kind of consumable items such as filters and a differentiated new home experience. So first, tell them how you got into this.
Yeah, for sure. And I do have some slides, but let's go off the cuff
We'll
instead.
get to those.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. A lot of it came from the fact that, like you're just talking about, that really resonated when I was standing over at the side. We have this really unique opportunity as an industry. I've been in the industry since I was 15. My dad was a site super. I could never get out. So, you get locked into the industry, but we also get locked into our mindset in the industry, I find as well. And at Avid, we see so much customer experience data that really was pointing to some pain points and drops in customer satisfaction, which I'll go into a little bit. Post-closing especially, we're like, there's got to be a solution. There's got to be something that not only solves it for the consumer, but monetizes it for the builder.
Perfect.
Creates that revenue stream. So that's what we went at. We call it Home Keep, so I can...
Show us your slides.
Go some slides. All right, let's roll.
Why
Let's
not?
roll. Let's see how it goes. Well, and I thought a good spot to kick off, since we do have all this CX data in our system, customer experience data in our system. When I saw the topic of lifetime value, I thought, well, let's look at value in general. We know there's been some headwinds when it comes to customer satisfaction in home building, not just our industry, across the board. The American Customer Satisfaction Index has been dropping. But this idea of perceived value from homeowners has definitely been falling off as well. So I put up a slide here. The overall value of the home for the price paid, that perceived value has dropped. If we look at it just even a year-over-year snapshot, the value for price paid when it comes to options and upgrades also has dropped off on a year-over-year. So I think a good starting point in this sort of value discussion is just taking a step back to see how can we fix that?
Well, you think about, what Eric Delansky talked about this morning about value, right? How much more valuable is a home that has an app that tells me how to run it, maintain it, and gives me alerts on every single thing that I need to do versus, especially think about Gen Zs and millennials that they didn't build ham radios in the basement with their father. They didn't drywall the basement, right? They haven't picked up a tool in their whole life. They don't even know that tools exist, right? They only know that you can get an emoji of tools, which is pretty cool. But emoji as the tools isn't going to drywall their basement, right? But think about that, that you have an operating system that comes with the home that helps you maintain that home. How much more valuable is a home that has that than a home that you have no idea who maintained it, what got done on it? It doesn't tell you what you need to do. right?
Yeah, yeah.
It
And even
should
just
be huge.
Yeah, and even just from the fact of data, we're talking about data assets too in home building. How can we create more data assets that we can monetize as well? Well, we don't stick around long enough as an industry to find out what's going on in that home, right? So I think that's a unique experience as well that we can start to gel out and build out a little bit further.
Well, that actually could get into some of the stuff that Ken Pinto was talking
yeah.
about. What if you figured out that you could tell what trades actually cause the long-term problems in the home, or what vendors cause long-term problems in the home? Right? You would have that data as well.
100%, yeah. So, and I think part of it too, like when I look at this slide on screen, we coach builders. We still do the surveying, the ratings, the reviews, the consulting. We coach builders throughout North America on this fact that the value equation is benefit over price, and the easiest thing it seems like the easiest thing to change is the denominator. Let's drop our price, right? Well, I think let's commoditize our industry even further. I'd like to see, let's focus on the benefit, the numerator. How can we beef that up more? How can we dig deeper on that end of it? And a lot of the benefit to me comes from creating relationships versus transactionships. It's not how our industry's ever really operated. We've been, next shovel in the ground is our profit, not the lingering relationship. But I think if we can start really digging in and focusing on how do we create longer term relationships with each homeowner, that it can create some really unique opportunities for us as an industry. So, and even just the concept of lifetime value by its nature is, how much profit can we generate from that relationship between a customer and the company? Mm-hmm. So that alone speaks to, again, this idea of tenure with that homeowner. So it's been an interesting journey, and again, we've done it with a lot of the background data we've had. So I will flip to the, did I go? And this is probably where it stemmed from. So again, not to get too data-driven here, because I want to showcase a little bit of the solution as well. But this is what really popped the idea in our brains is like, if you look at the customer journey, and this is a customer that's going from being, I guess a shopper to a buyer to a shopper to a prospect to a buyer to an owner.
What's interesting is that chart looks almost exactly like the chart that Melissa showed earlier. Did you?
I didn't see that one, no.
She had a chart on the customer journey that showed how the psychology goes up and down and up
and
down.
I've got that. I've used that in another boardroom session.
But it's almost exactly the same thing. It so
is. Yeah, and we always hope, I was a VP of operations for a builder a lifetime ago before I joined Avid, and we always hope that the back end, kind of the ass end of the process, finishes better. You want referring advocates at the end, but that's not what we see in the data. We see there's usually almost an 11-point drop off after move-in in customer satisfaction. But I look at it like there's a bit of an abandonment phase that happens. It's that journey with the customer is pretty intense. It's like a relationship. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're asking them to do a lot of stuff and sign a lot of contracts and pick a lot of colors and do this walkthrough, that walkthrough, and at the end of the day, then all of a sudden they get the keys and we walk away.
So we need to become more stalker girlfriend like.
100%.
Okay.
We have to definitely. We got to get much creepier.
Work on your stalker girlfriend, a little bit.
We got to get much creepier as an industry. But that idea of so what can we do to mitigate that? And so that's what when we looked at this, it was like, okay, we've often looked at what next product can we bring to market at Avid, or what next solution, and we thought, as much as we'd like to find something at the front end, because that's sexy, what could drive more sales up front, there's lots of people in that space. What can we do for longevity with that customer, that lifetime relationship at the back end of the process here? So that's what we dug into. And then mirrored with that, this is what we were seeing, again, in our data, like the graph showed, the customer experience tends to be most negative post-possession. As an industry, we don't show that slide to any builder that doesn't get a nod. Most of the builders say, yeah, that totally makes sense. Yeah, it drops off, yep, and we are doing our 30-day and our 1 year, and then we're out of there.
Well, the problem is we kind of structure the relationship that the only reason they would communicate is if there's a problem.
Right, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Do we really reach out and say, hey, give me a shout out of how happy you are with with that beautiful kitchen you have? No. We don't really do that.
No, and I've literally talked to a production builder that would give gift cards if the homeowners didn't call them.
Yeah.
Right? It seemed like such a backwards mindset.
So it's an interesting issue because we had a time, I was working with a bunch of technology integrators in the home building space, and we were talking about what could you do. And one of the ideas was just brilliant, was to have recent home buyers hold an open house in their home where the builder pays for it, and they invite their friends. But it creates a moment of pride post-ownership and occupancy, right? Because their friends are coming in. They're not going to sit there and go, I hate this house, I don't like anything. It's going to be about them boasting about their home. And it gives you, how likely are these people, their friends, to be your next likely client? Of course. And you can get the trades, as a builder, you can get the trades to pay for it, especially the integrators, because the integrators have lots of business to do for other people. They'll see automation and go, oh, come to my old house, I need you to do that automation in my old house. But it's an opportunity to kind of script that message and turn it positive. And we as an industry don't manage that message post-ownership. So I think that's another interesting.
For sure, we've always been designed as the next shovel in the ground is the profit.
Yeah,
right?
we'll move on.
Move on, turn them and forget them. And so, and also, at the end, we've talked about it, in the write-up for this as well. We're delivering the biggest asset of most people's lives. This is a big fixed asset that we're delivering, and we're often delivering it to them. And these homes are better performing than ever before. They're more complex than ever before, and we leave them with, little knowledge on how to actually manage and maintain that home and how to operate it and keep it at optimum performance levels. So with that, we did launch this, and not to get all salesy, we launched this technology called HomeKeep. And we're like, let's solve for this a little bit. Let's create a little bit more ease in that ownership experience, and also let's give the builders a long-term relationship that they can stand behind this product even longer and monetize.
And
so,
you and I have talked, this is early.
This is early, for sure.
So it's a toolbox. It's like you've created this framework that we need as an industry to start to think, well, how do we now kind of put some meat on those bones?
Yes, how do we fill that box, right? And it's like home building as a special tool for, the right tool for every project here. So, with HomeKeep, what we've built out is a digital application. It's really tech-enabled home maintenance, subscription, and services. We live in a subscription-based economy. I don't own my own music. I don't own my own TV shows anymore. Everything's subscription-based. So why can't a builder monetize a subscription-based service like HomeKeep or application like HomeKeep? It allows the homeowners to catalog their homes, to go through and itemize what's in that home, all the documentation that supports that as well. Now to manage and maintain that home, here's what should be done, here's the why, here's the how. We also loaded up with educational resources as well, so videos in there. I mean, a lot of homeowners will go to YouTube, but what credibility do you get from that maintenance person that's doing that? I've seen some pretty sketchy ones out there. And then supporting the homeowner, it comes with a concierge service human as well that we provide on demand, on live chat as well. And then the nice part about it that I think is really going to be cool is this idea of it's record keeping too. So now they've maintained their home, they're following, ticking the boxes, everything else. Well, we don't have Carfax in home building yet. We got to get there. We got to get there at some point. So that record, that maintenance is now being tracked as well. When we started doing this, we found there was well over 100 annual tasks that we should be doing on our new home. How many of us do it? I coached homeowners at pre-delivery inspections in my last life, and this is what you need to do. Here's the documentation, here's the thumb drive, whatever it might be.
And it's gone.
It never gets done. I don't do it in my own house. Yeah. So, I'm guilty of it as well. And this is things like basic stuff, changing furnace filters, changing water filters, the list goes on and on.
Flushing your water heater.
Right, yes. Cleaning your brine tank on a softener, things like that doesn't happen. This doesn't get done. So that's what we itemized all this out in HomeKeep in the app. Again, we've digitized it. It's taking us from, again, I was guilty of the binders and the drawer thing back when I was building past life, and we did get to flash drives. We got pretty sophisticated. Here's a USB stick.
The nice part, it's smaller, so it's easier to lose.
Oh, totally, right? Yeah, nobody will ever find it.
Or I can write over it.
It'll be with the Disney photos that are lost somewhere too on a thumb drive, right? Yeah. So we, it's a digital solution now. It takes us into this sort of the new millennium, hopefully. Then they can load it up things like paint. How nice would it be if you knew what paint color, hardwood color. I had to replace the cartridge on my Moen kitchen faucet. Well, if I could have gone in and found the model and serial number, how much quicker could I go online and grab that replacement part? And then the idea of managing these things as well. We can actually then register the products with the manufacturer. So that way, if there's a recall or a warranty issue, they get notifications from that as well. So even at a broader ecosystem, the idea that now the manufacturers know where their products are. That gets pretty impressive too. There's some pretty interesting appeal again with the data asset piece of HomeKeep. The other thing we do with it as well, which is critical today, it's personalized to every home. So because we now know what's in that home, you can personalize that experience for the homeowner. You can't, today's consumers are now prosumers, they call them. They're not consumers. They want personalization. They crave that. So we can serve up, here's what the tasks are on your home. Here's when they should be done. Here's how to do them. Here's why they should be done. So it takes it to that next level. And if they don't want to do it themselves, we can offer in-app scheduling and get a specialist out to do it for them as well. So I think that's kind of a nice feature. We're working on the next phase of HomeKeep as well, which would actually be consumables delivery. Because there are some, I'm handy. I can do my own work. Some people don't want to invest the time, but I tend to like fiddling around. But I'm also used to this delivery-based economy that we live in. I want that stuff on my front porch when it's time to do it. So if I can in-app schedule and say, okay, I need this furnace filter, here's what HomeKeep says I need for this house. I'm going to do my spring maintenance appointment. Click, it's on my porch. So that's the next sort of stage that we're heading towards with HomeKeep. And I just wanted to show some examples of what we've been finding in the field so far. How old? These are some before and afters. Like, how old do you think these?
12 months.
Yes. There's in a picture up here from a home that's over 5 years old. Right? My home would be guilty of probably similar photos, right? So this is the need that's out there with the before and afters. We're seeing home maintenance just isn't being done. Who are the experts? Builders. Our industry are the experts on it. We could be doing this and monetizing this, more importantly. So we see that, again, homeowners need help. 60% of homeowners don't do regular home maintenance. We're finding it's probably way higher than that. 42% of millennials feel embarrassed by their lack of home maintenance knowledge. Well, if you sit through any Zonda, any NHB, any sort of webinar about where we should be focusing a lot of our future opportunity, it's a big cohort. The millennials and the Gen Zs behind them is a huge cohort coming through the pipeline. And if they're not keen on maintaining a home, there's an opportunity there. So added to that, it's not easy maintaining a home, and it gets expensive.
Yeah, I have a study that says that one of the single largest disappointment for millennials buying a home is the unexpected amount of maintenance. They just had no idea that you'd actually have to
do something,
kind of work on your house. And the problem is then they find that they don't know what to do, and there's not a good source of understanding what to do. Then they feel guilty, and it doesn't end up
easier to avoid it.
Yeah.
Just easier to turn the page, and I think on the idea affordability, especially in the headwinds we're facing, is with the economy and everything right now. I think anything we can do to make it easier, to make it more affordable to maintain the home, and make sure it gets done. Again, it's a big asset, so if it can be optimized to be performing well, to be lasting longer, because it shortens the lifespan of furnaces, all these mechanicals if they're not being maintained as well. So it's and again, it's not new. I hate, because I've been from the industry for too long, I hate bringing auto up in a room of builders. But when you sell, a dealership that sells a new car, the profit they make on that new car versus the profit they make on maintenance plans they sell, parts and service and everything else, I think it's roughly, it depends on the study, but roughly 25% of people driving a new car have some sort of a maintenance plan on that car. And about 60% of those people will still keep going back to the dealership after the maintenance plan's done. Right? So it creates loyalty, it creates advocacy, it gives an opportunity for repeat buyers, referral buyers, and most importantly, a monetization of a stream that we're not really touching as an industry. So that's a bit of my soapbox, I guess, but I'm pretty passionate about this industry.
Well, that's awesome.
There's a huge lifetime value opportunity here.
I think the issue is we've created a toolbox that now we've got to figure out how do we kind of start to put some of the tools in the box to generate revenue.
Right.
So we're going to transition, and we're going to transition over here to Bennett, and he's going to talk about programs that he's got going right now live with dozens of builders all across the country making real money.
That's right.
So, God, that's an easy sell. You got an easy job. Is your boss here? I could tell him.
He's not.
You make way too much money.
Well, let's see. Thank you. And thank you all. Thank you, Tim, for putting on an amazing forum today, and the entire AE Ventures team, John and Nancy, much appreciate the support to getting this all live. My name is Bennett Hauser. I'm one of the co-founders and head of operations here at Mine. Really looking forward to telling you more about what we do. A few key themes that we'll sort of hit on throughout the day are, it won't be a day, it'll be about 10 to 15 minutes here, are how we partner with our builder partners to deliver a few core goals. Driving home sales by improving that home buyer experience, increasing engagement with your buyers, your prospects, buyers closed and in contract, before, during, and after that build is complete, generating additional revenue by offering furniture as an additional offering to your customers, and then reducing the cost of actually merchandising that model while improving the final product that's put on display. In the next 10 to 15 minutes, I'll start just by giving a brief overview on Mine and how we deliver value for our customers, home builders and home buyers. And then we'll jump to a great survey that we did with the John Burns Real Estate Consulting Group. Thank you, Deanna, for the help there. Share some stats about how new homeowners think about that home furnishing process. And then we'll end by sort of talking about this concept of reimagining that model home as the new retail store, a theme that we've touched on a number of times so far this morning. So let's dive right in. We started Mine to really be the only home furnishing solution entirely dedicated to this market, the new home buyer and the home builder. You all in this room have made it insanely easy to buy and build a new construction home, but furnishing that home is still a nightmare. Talk to anyone who's done it recently. And it's that next really burdensome task that your customer has to think about. Well, we started our company to fill that void and make that an elegant and easy process for your customers. Our team is composed of a number of individuals with deep experience across furniture retailing, from Restoration Hardware and Pottery Barn, technology companies, Apple and Uber, and also, of course, model homes and home builders with Pulte Group, Pulte Interiors, and Builder Advisor Group. We offer three sort of distinct segments of our positioning with our customers. The first is we work with our home builder partners to improve their model homes. So we do data-driven model home merchandising that helps promote the sale of homes, but also, of course, the sale of furniture. The second is we turn those model homes into shoppable, engaging model home stores to both engage your prospects and buyers, but also arm your sales teams with a tool to answer that age-old question of where's the sofa from? And then finally, we are there to really help your home buyers finish out their homes. Full design services to take that next daunting task and allow them to feel that they have a partner to actually help them furnish the home. So we've launched over the last few years all across the US in about 600 model home locations, 80 plus cities with several of the top 10 and top 20 home builder partners. We've been extremely grateful and humbled by the feedback we've received so far from, the absolute core customer-facing entities of the local sales and marketing teams, onwards and upwards to the top brass of organizations like Ryan Marshall, the CEO of Pulte, describing how we really improve that home buying process for his customers and the Pulte customer by helping a new home buyer envision and enable what is possible from a home furnishings perspective. I think I could do a lot of talking, but it's a lot easier for us to let our customers share some of their stories. So I wanted to play a 2-minute video of some of our customers' sentiments. These are not paid actors. These are real customers who were happy to jump on the phone or on the camera to share some of their stories.
When we purchased our home, it was our first big purchase, and I just wanted our home to look great.
We did, I think, what most people do, which is go from store to store.
You don't know what you want or, how is this going to look with that?
Trying to find the right things, trying to find it in the right size, the right color.
Nothing fit, everything looked odd.
It was going to be a slow process.
We're just sort of average Americans. We thought interior design was for rich people.
When I found Mine and they had their free service, that was just the icing on the cake.
One big advantage of Mine was being able to pop down to the model home.
I like to see the layout of things.
And having the chance to sit on it and touch it.
And that's what separates Mine from anybody else.
I worked with my Mine designer and found similar furniture at my budget price.
When you work with Mine, they send you a design portal.
I was able to create a profile.
We could check what we liked or we didn't like.
And we could shop for the whole house.
And all I had to do was pick the ones I liked best.
What was on the website was only a starting point.
The Mine people told us the difference between classical, modern, contemporary.
I would show her an inspiration piece and she would find something just like it, or even the exact product.
Mine took care of all the heavy lifting for us. They disposed of all the boxes.
They brought in all the furniture, they put it all together.
To have everything done from A to Z was really awesome.
The way it all came together is exactly what I had in my mind.
Everything came to life that I wanted, and I'm so happy with it.
People have been over and asking me multiple questions. I just say, go to Mine, use Mine.
It feels like home. I think that's what I said to my husband when I walked in the door. Oh my goodness, it feels so good to be home.
So how does it all work? I'll give you a brief sort of synopsis on how we make this thing come together. So We firmly believe that beautiful model homes are sort of the origin for turning that model into a retail store. So we partner with our builder partners to start by helping them install the most beautiful model possible at the best rate possible. Our team has extensive experience installing model homes, hundreds of model homes across the country for top US builders. We can offer the lowest rates in the business because our business model is to turn that model home into our retail store and thereby generate income from the store itself. We have a really advanced design process leveraging our in-house designer portal, which your home buyers will also interface with, which takes a lot of the pain and adds some efficiency to the process. And of course, we're working with hundreds and hundreds of vendor partners. We're not a single brand, and so that allows us to scale to hit really any style across any price point. You know, our goal is to help our builders have the best possible model on display, because that becomes the retail store for the home buyer. You know, when we think about where we position and how we want to position differently, it's all about delivering value. We've heard a lot about delivering value and perceived value today. And that's to both sides of our customers, builders and buyers. So I thought it would be fun to play a little game. Which of the following rooms, I only want to click once, do you guys prefer? Raise your hand if you like the room on the left more. Raise your hand if you like the room on the right more. Raise your hand if you can't see the difference.
Yeah.
Or they look similar. Well, what if I told you that one of these is $30,000 and one of these is $11,000? Can anyone guess which is which? Let's take a vote. Who thinks the room on the left is the $30,000 room? And who thinks the room on the right is the $30,000 room? Pretty split. Well, the room on the left is a Restoration Hardware room for nearly $30K. If you're not a member, they'll charge you almost $40K. And then the room on the right is a Mine designed room. Now, my boss, our CEO here at Mine, was an executive at Restoration Hardware for many years. And he'd be the first to tell you that, you know, it's not just what makes this comparison interesting is it's not just that the products look really similar, the quality is also very similar. You know, the game with retail is often perceived value. And at Mine, we are all about delivering the maximum of possible value to our customers by going direct to manufacturers, by innovating on the business model of retail, and cutting out a lot of the fat of the ecosystem by repurposing this amazing asset, which is the model home, into the new retail store. And of course, layering in our technology along the way to save time. So when we think about your consumer, ours as well, that home buyer, furniture is their second or third most considered purchase in their lives, following, of course, the home, and then maybe for some, the car. And as I said earlier, thanks to you all, it's easier to build a new home than it is to furnish one. Furnishing that home is the obvious next thing on the mind of your home buyers, and it's really, really hard to do. There still is not a great solution out there, and we are putting all of our energy into creating that for you all. And we start by taking these beautiful model homes that are all across the country and turning them into digitally shoppable stores. This is an engaging tool for your home buyers and your prospects, mind you, and allows them to sort of play with the model in real time and shop the products they see on display. It also is a tool for your sales team members so they can finally answer that question of where the table is from. It's super easy to use. All you need to do is scan a QR code on one of the signs in the model homes or go direct to one of the URLs and start shopping. There's no app to download. But from our decades in furniture retailing, we know that it's a lot harder than just shopping online and seeing some products to furnish a whole home. Furnishing a whole home is really, really challenging. And so we offer up our interior designers and our technology free of charge to your customers, the home buyer. And this is really what starts off the process that gets the kinds of reviews that you hear from our customers. They get to schedule a call with a professional interior designer and kick off their design process, which is very straightforward. Starts with discovery. They get inspiration from the hundreds and hundreds of model homes, soon to be thousands, on our platform. They can visit the ones in the backyards, in their backyard, or shop digitally from afar. They then jump on with their designer and they start customizing their favorite looks, perfecting it to their style, their budget, their timeline. When are they actually moving in? And then finally, they sit back and we handle all the rest of the heavy lifting. We'll procure from many vendors. We ship and consolidate to a central warehouse so that everything is, received and inspected together. And then we do a single white glove delivery into our customer's home. When a customer works with one of our designers, they unlock an entire world of products beyond what you see on our site, as you heard in the movie. These mood boards in our design portal allow the home buyer to really see the space plan and how the room will come together with different looks that they're considering with their designer. It's super easy for your customers to give feedback, just commenting right in our portal on the process, on the products that they're considering. And then when they press go on that order, our team picks up. That's truly where our jobs start. We then become a procurement engine, and we have to procure from sometimes dozens of vendors on behalf of our clients. We're shipping and consolidating to a central receiving warehouse in their backyard, where in their neighborhood, not their literal backyard. We're inspecting and unboxing, and then we go into their home and let them sit back and relax while we do the install. And the end result, this is a real customer's home in Phoenix, is a home that looks truly as good as the model, but that's fully customized to the style preferences and budget of your home buyer. So that's a little bit of background on what we do. I want to turn to the numbers a little bit and talk about why this matters so much, knowing this new home buyer market. So we worked with the John Burns real estate consulting team to survey Smile State home buyers and focused on new construction buyers. And the overwhelming takeaway was that model home merchandising really matters. 80% of new homeowners said that the way the home was furnished influenced their decision to buy a home. 6 out of 10 of those homeowners said that they wanted to recreate the looks of those models in their own homes, as we hear from this Arizona homeowner in the survey here who made a huge effort to emulate that look that they saw in the model. It's no surprise that homeowners move in with furnishing needs. Nearly 90% report having furnishing needs when they move in, and 60%, almost 60%, are saying that they move in with at least half the house empty. They don't just need to buy a table or a chair, they need to fill half a house. It also is not a surprise that homeowners take time furnishing their homes because it's challenging and it's expensive. For many of them, they've just made the biggest purchase that they've ever made in their life, and some need to save up or they just don't even know where to start. And so 6 months after closing, over 80% of homeowners report still having decorating or furnishing needs. We also know that homeowners are budgeting early in their process, in their home purchase journey. Over half of new construction homeowners are saying to us that they factor in that cost of furnishing prior to or while they're qualifying for the mortgage, so right at that mortgage stage. And then nearly 90% are thinking about it before they move in. This is obvious. Of course, furnishing the house is on their mind, but as we're talking to them throughout this process, it's helpful to have a resource to sort of lend some insights there and help them plan ahead. So the key takeaways of this survey is pretty clear. Model merchandising matters, and it helps you sell homes. Making those models look beautiful is really a great start. Buyers are inspired by these beautiful models, and they seek to recreate these looks in their own homes. And then finally, prospects are thinking about the cost of furniture while they are in that home consideration and home purchase process. So I'll end today's presentation just by taking a step back and thinking about this concept of the model home as the new retail store. We really started this company out of decades of furniture retailing to completely rethink how people shop for furniture and change how that is done, change how you furnish a home. And what we're seeing is that the builder partners of ours that are having the most success with the program are really integrating it throughout the entire prospect and buyer journey. We're a pretty new brand to this market. We're a pretty new player in this market. And so, our form of customer awareness is coming through the builder activation. So model home signage, social media posts, website features, direct emails to buyers and prospects. By the way, our partners who are sending emails to closed home buyers and even to prospects are seeing, up to 2-year closed as well, are seeing the highest open rates out of any one of their campaigns on furniture-related content. That's because the person's thinking about furnishing. And so it's no surprise that it's an excellent engagement or re-engagement tool years later, truly. And then also design center signs and sales standard operating procedures, really integrating this into the home buyer's journey and saying, hey, we got you on this next step, and we've got a partner that can really help you. A well-integrated deployment of our services can easily cover the cost of furnishing a model home and can do a lot more over time as well. But just starting with a pretty straightforward example. If we have a 100-home community, let's say it's got one model that costs $56,000 to merchandise, well, there are really 3 sort of profiles of buyers that we see out of the exposure of this new model home store. The first is a customer who's going to do a pretty whole home order with us. And I'll use a $20,000 average order, which is approximately right, but we see some customers spending upwards of $100,000 or more with us. Partial home customers, or folks who are just buying a piece or two. So that full home customer, just reaching 15% of those buyers, which we know they need to furnish their home. It's very, very doable here. With an average order value of $20,000, can generate $400,000. When we look at that, I should add, when we activate in a community, we also meet neighbors. And so we generate sales from neighbors in that area who may be your prospects, or they may be happily living in the neighborhood, but not in the market for a new home yet.
Well, I think one thing we also got to remember we talked about is a lot of people come into builders and don't buy from them.
Of course, they'll looky-loos.
But they may engage in the mind process through that builder, right? Which gives them a whole revenue stream that they would never have access to.
That's totally right. And on that third cohort, you'll notice the ratios sort of flip, where we actually hit a lot more neighbors on small orders. But when we're only talking to the new home buyer, we've got a much higher chance of closing sort of this whole home order. But neighbors love popping into model homes, and they are your future prospects. And going to this open house idea, I mean, that's what is happening actually in our world today is, folks are so house proud when they get their house fully interior decorated that they host that cocktail party. And it's a tremendous word of mouth promotion, not only for a service like our own, but also for the builder's service to say, right, it's pretty nice to live here.
Yep.
But the point is there's sort of these 3 segments that, very approachable conversion percentages get to a place of generating, about $750,000 of sales from that sort of single model home alone, which leads to profit share for our builder partners of, a scenario where you're covering the cost of the model. So we think it's totally worth it to be driving, investing in that model, making it look beautiful, because that's not only what sells the home, but it's going to improve your buyer's experience as well.
And again, the difference is that's just not a revenue number. That drops right to your bottom line.
Exactly.
That's just $55,000 or more profitability in that community, period.
Totally. And, what we hear from Pulte is there's this unknown component of how many folks didn't want to deal with the inertia of furnishing a new home, who actually saw our service and then decided to buy the home because of it.
Easier.
We don't know that, but there's something there. So just in conclusion, we started this whole company to reimagine this model home as the new retail store, and we're super grateful to have your attention today. So thank you. But just in summary, my goal and my coworkers and my colleagues' goals are to really work with you all to increase the lifetime value of your buyers. And we want to do that by driving home sales, improving the home buyer experience, increasing the engagement that you can have with your prospects and your customers, help buyers tackle that next hugely challenging task of furnishing the new home, reduce the cost of setting up those models, with either our technology or our services, and then finally generating a bit of additional revenue along the way. Thank you so much for your time. I'll be around the next couple of days, and I'm happy to take any questions either now or later.
No, we're gonna wait. We're gonna move right on.
Great.
I told you you're gonna have a new BFF, Bear. All right? He's gonna make you money. He's gonna make you money tomorrow. He's making it more profitable. But we are gonna move on down to the end. You're the last speaker of the day. Now I know Wayfair kind of took a different approach. to how to help builders, right?
Yeah.
Some different value propositions. So we're going to real quickly here, and then hopefully we'll open up for a few questions before we adjourn. Okay?
Perfect. Well, I guess I'll stand up and pop over here. So my name is Allie Rickert. I work with Wayfair Professional, not Wayfair.
Yeah.
A little bit different. So let me give you a quick overview of the differences. And it's actually kind of funny. You had said a household name that many of your significant others may have purchased that is actually at every builder show I go to. The most common comment that I get is, oh, Wayfair, my wife shops there all the time.
Yeah.
What are you doing at a builder show? And so that's what I'm here to tell you. The last 4 years, I've been focused in home builder industry and have really tried to draw in around 3 different areas. Sorry, the slide is black for me, so I can't really see it. But the first thing is a clock. It's supposed to be to save time. The second is to save money. And the third is to really wow your customers. And so I'm going to pop through just a couple slides here to speak to that. So Wayfair Professional, one of the differences with Wayfair and Wayfair Professional is solely working with businesses. So we're selling directly to businesses, and what we're able to do is leverage the consumer spend of the 22 million active customers of Wayfair to be able to work with suppliers and help to better source products for our professional customers. So Wayfair is not just Wayfair. We have a number of different brands. So Paragold, which is our luxury brand, really built as a kind of competitor of like the Restoration Hardwares of the world. Joss & Main is really going to be a more contemporary, Birch Lane, all modern, all different curated selections that we have that you have access to all through one site with Wayfair Professional. So we do offer complimentary interior design services to all of our customers. This is a big cost savings versus using a third-party interior designer. In speaking with a lot of our national builders, that's where they go today. There's a lot of times upcharges on furniture, there's upcharges on the design services themselves by the hour. That's something that is all offered within our offering.
That's incredibly expensive, and they can eliminate that completely.
They can, yes. So we do have a full staff of professional interior designers. One of the differences that you'll see is that Wayfair is going to do everything remotely. So we will take your CAD files or your PDF files, and we will put it into our CAD programming and space plan it completely remote, which saves a ton of costs of being directly on site. It also allows you to be able to share between different divisions. So if you have multiple divisions across the country, you're able to share those floor plans of commonly built models. There's also, we do work quite a bit in the product sourcing and procurement space as well. So we work with a ton of interior designers. In fact, over 90% of third-party interior designers are already using Wayfair Professional. So in a lot of your models, in a lot of your amenity spaces, you have Wayfair product there already. So just going direct to the source. We work to try to save you time. We work with different design options. We have a whole catalog of different pre-curated designs to help you. If I can't tell you how many times I have builders call me and say they need a model home in 4 weeks, completely designed, completely delivered, completely installed. This is a really great way to save 1 to 2 weeks in the process, is using our catalogs that we already have of popular designs. As far as where we are across the country, I have to be honest with you, this map is very outdated. It's from 2019, and we have grown significantly since then. We have over 15 million square feet of warehousing space across the country. So we're able to deliver anywhere. We're able to use our warehousing. We're able to use the supply chain network, again, that we're getting from the 22 million consumers we have, and leverage that to be able to quickly ship. We're talking 2-day shipments on sofas or large items through our supply chain network. This gets you product quickly. depending on the exact selection that you go with. Obviously, not every single item is going to be able to 2-day shipped, but it is a very easy, quick fix when you need something right away. Our team works in not just what's on site as well. We also have a full off-site selection of anything contract grade, commercial grade furniture. A lot that you'll see in your outdoor pool spaces, your clubhouses, obviously your models, which fits really well with the Wayfair name. And then one of the most successful spaces we've been in with builders is the sales offices, quickly turning garages into, or 2-car garages into 2-person offices and furnishing something that can be set up quickly and taken down quickly as the community sells out and you move on to the next. This is one of my favorite little secrets of Wayfair. This is our corporate standards portal. This is actually a 2-car garage sales office here. What it has at the top is just an image of what the office is itself. This is really great for larger builders where you're trying to do something nationally. You're really trying to control your brand standards and have somebody who is able to select and approve products that allows divisions purchasing power, but really controls the brand at the top. So this is an on-site website. It takes us minutes to put this together, and it allows you to empower your divisions to add all of the items to cart and check out on their own. They're able to add their own financing options right on site. There's Net 60 financing, and so it makes it very easy to allow multiple different divisions to purchase exactly what has been selected for them. We've done this very well with offices. We've done it a few times with model homes. There's a couple different builders we work with where they have a model home that is very consistent across the country. So they're able to choose from a number of different aesthetics, and we have different bedrooms on there. So if you're looking for a demographic with younger children or more of a 55 plus community, you can kind of pick and choose there, but it's already space planned to that model. Again, able to get that to you very quickly. These are just a couple different examples. One other fun fact with Wayfair, you don't really think of us for anything beyond furniture in most instances. I think earlier today may have been you that said not interested in talking appliances, but we do everything once the drywall is up. So whether it's carpet tiles or flooring or wall coverings, appliances, bathroom hardware, those types of things. But this was just one where we had sourced the carpet for them. Commercial grade office furniture, ton in model homes, obviously, that fits really well with the Wayfair consumer brand. And these are just some different examples. Again, outdoor and amenity spaces, another thing you wouldn't really think of Wayfair for, but we do have suppliers that are actually off-site. So you work with your account manager to get to these suppliers, but be able to leverage just that high quality commercial grade product.
You offer the free design services for common amenity areas, for example, Epcon communities, they have those beautiful pool areas, but you're going to need some tables, some lounges, blah, blah, blah. You design the whole area for them, procure it, and send it to them?
Yes, exactly.
Where's Paul? Paul, don't you need that? Come on, there's a supply chain hack for you.
Yes, so yeah, all of the above. We'll do the amenity spaces. That's really my favorite area to work in because they're beautiful and fun to do. Floral walls. So yeah, just some different examples. So kind of wrapping up, cost savings, again, complementary interior design. You can share designs across divisions. So if a buyer is only really looking within a 20 to 30 mile radius. So if somebody is shopping one model home and there's another one 100 miles away that has an almost same look and feel, if it's the right look and feel for the demographic you're going for, why not share the designs and not double pay for the time and money it takes to design the homes? Automatic discounts, so that's kind of the best thing that I didn't bring up. There are discounts right on site for the professional buyers. Additional discounts when you are looking for something in bulk. So if you're looking for lighting fixtures for multiple homes, and then of course, custom tiered rebate programs that are also available. Time savers. We have a team that can negotiate with the suppliers on your behalf. I believe that was said earlier too. Sometimes it's not best to work with every single supplier. Wayfair has 20 23,000 suppliers and 33 million different SKUs on site. So our team they are professionals in working with them and negotiating. 1 to 2 day shipping. We also have direct-to-consumer shipping if it's full truckload, so it saves significant time and costs. The last piece, kind of wowing the customers, using the 5 different unique websites, the different curated aesthetics for the different demographics you're looking to sell to. I also threw something on here from our Shop Sustainably, which is one of our newest initiatives, really trying to push for a healthier home, healthier product inside the home, and I know that that's very important to the home buyers and a lot of our builders. Professionally designed models without the high price tag, and I believe that is the last one. So I really appreciate your time. We're so thankful that we were invited to be here.
Awesome. We're glad you came.
So thank you.
All right. And if you can believe it, that's a wrap.